Hey, it's Daylin Miller with Redeeming Day. Thanks for being with me today. I was thinking about being authentic. I was thinking about having your own faith. Not having your parents' faith, not having your husband's faith, not having your wife's faith, but finding your own faith. I think that's really imperative. I know a lot of people that called in on the prayer line when I was doing that work for about a year, and I just prayed with so many people, hundreds, maybe thousands of people. I don't know how many it was. But people would call in just so lost because what they really wanted was somebody who believed, somebody who had faith. They wanted somebody to agree with them. They wanted to certainly talk about whatever it is they needed prayer for, but they wanted to grab on to some authentic faith. And I think that that's really something important that we could all go after. And it might be something to examine in your own walk or in your own time with God. If you're spending time with him and you're hearing the word like we're always talking about, those are all steps toward your own personal authentic faith. And that sounds like, oh, well, that's so obvious, Daylin. But what I'm talking about is going to another place. I'm talking about going deeper. I'm talking about knowing that you don't need to be relying on anybody else to pray for you. And I'm not saying that that's not a good thing to have other people pray for you. Of course it is. But what Jesus wants is us to totally know him in spirit, know him in truth is what it says, right, in the Gospels. And that we can go to him knowing that we have our own authentic faith. It says in the great story about Abraham and Sarah, which I know I talk about that story all the time, but it says, and Abraham was fully persuaded. Well, over the last 60 years of my life, I know I have come to become fully persuaded, to know that the word of God is true, to know that if I have something that needs prayer about, I can plant my butt down and pray about it and talk to a God with an authentic heart and with authentic faith. And you can do that too. You just have to start to do it. You just have to start wherever you are, at whatever place you're at, and just decide, right? It says we can choose. We have to choose what we're doing. God's not in control of everything. We have to make some choices. God knows what we're going to choose, but we still have to make the choice. So in this down here on the earth, inside of time, we have to make good choices. And we have to say, I want my faith to be authentic. I want God to know my heart. I want him to look at me and say, that's somebody who believes me. So I thought that was worth talking about today because I know there was a time in my life where I didn't take this very seriously. I just thought it was just a religion thing and we just went to church on Sundays and maybe sometimes on Wednesdays, and it was still good. I don't mean to say that that's not a good start, but that's not what Jesus died for us to have. He died for us to have an authentic faith, knowing he's forgiven us, knowing he went to the cross so that we would forgive others, knowing that we would really truly believe what this word of God says. So that might be something to dig into. That might be a reason to maybe go back and listen to some of these other videos too about a depth of believing, a depth of saying, what if I really believed this word? What if what Jesus died on the cross for me to have is even better than I thought? I know when Bill and I figured that out, when we started to get a revelation that we didn't have a full grasp on everything that was written in the Gospels, then when you read those verses now, it's like words pop off the page at you. Like, what? Does it really say that I've been given everything necessary for life and godliness according to these amazing and precious promises? That's a pretty good thing to know. I have everything necessary inside of me for life and godliness. Well, I want to grab onto that authentic faith and I want to run with it. If I run into an issue or if I'm faced with something that I can't solve, I want to get back in the Word and I want to get back in my chair with my cup of coffee and I want to say, okay, God, you and I are going to figure this out. I need to have an answer. And then just be with them. He loves that. Stay connected, like I'm always saying. So God bless you. Thanks for listening. Be authentic. Find out your own authenticity about knowing the Lord. It's not mine, it's yours. Every one of us has to have it for ourselves, and we can become fully persuaded, just like Abraham was. So God bless you. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.